Okay, so we're all pretty familiar with AI that can, write an email for you or analyze a spreadsheet. But what if that same AI could also book the flight it recommends or file the report it just generated? That leap right there from insight to action, well, that's the future of AI, and it's what we're diving into. And that really brings us to the core question, doesn't it? We all know AI is smart, but can it actually act? Can it go from just analyzing the world to actively changing it? This so-called action gap is probably the biggest challenge in AI today, and we're about to see exactly how it's being solved. The answer, in a word, is the AI agent. Now, this is not just another chatbot we're talking about. An AI agent is something different. It's an autonomous system, one that can actually perceive its environment, reason about what's going on, and then take real goal-directed actions to get something done. And this is where you can really see the massive difference. Think about traditional AI. It answers one question, then it's done. It has zero memory of what you just talked about, and it's totally cut off from the real world. But an agent? Oh, that's a completely different story. It can actually plan out complex, multi-step tasks. It remembers your conversation, and, this is the big one, it can directly plug into things like APIs, search the web, and access databases to get stuff done. So, you might be wondering, how do these agents get these superpowers? It's not magic, I can tell you that. It all comes down to giving the agent the right set of tools to actually interact with the world. I love this analogy because it's just perfect. An agent's brain, its core LLM, is like a brilliant analyst. It's got all this reasoning power. But if it doesn't have tools, it's just stuck in a box. It can't see live data, it can't execute any tasks. The tools. They're the bridge between the agent's mind and the real world. And these tools really fall into three main buckets. You've got APIs, which connect the agent to all sorts of external services. Then there are search engines, which give it access to what's happening right now. And finally, databases, which let it tap into your company's own private knowledge. Let's make this a little more real. An agent could use a standard API to connect to a payment gateway and actually process a transaction. Or it could use a banking API to check an account balance in real time. See? This is real action, not just thinking about an action. Or think about this. What if an agent could connect to your company's internal systems? It could pull a customer's entire purchase history from your CRM, or go and update inventory levels in your ERP. It literally becomes a digital member of your team plugged right into your existing workflows. And this one is absolutely critical. Most large language models have a knowledge cutoff, right? They don't know anything that happened after a certain date. Well, a search tool completely solves that. It gives the agent instant access to live market data, breaking news, regulatory changes, you name it. All right, so we've got these powerful tools, but how in the world does an agent know which tool to use and when to use it? Let's take a quick look under the hood and see how this whole workflow actually operates. It all works in this really cool dynamic loop. First, the agent has to understand what you're asking. Then it thinks about it and decides on the best tool for the job. It makes the call to that tool, gets a response back, processes that information, and then gives you the final output. And here's the thing, it can repeat this loop over and over again to solve even really complex problems. From an architectural standpoint, it kind of looks like this pyramid here. This gives you a great high-level view of the 4 essential pillars you need to build a really robust AI agent. This is basically the blueprint. So let's break down those 4 pillars real quick. At the very bottom, you have the LLM core. That's the brain, the part that does all the reasoning. Right on top of that is the tool layer, which we just talked about, all the APIs and search tools. Above that, you've got memory, so the agent can remember what's going on. And at the very top, you have the orchestration layer, which is like the project manager that coordinates the whole shebang. Okay, so we've covered the what and the how of AI agents. But now, let's get to the most important part, the why. How are businesses actually using this technology to create real, tangible value today? And trust me, this isn't just theory. In high-stakes environments like this one, these agent-based systems are already making a huge impact, especially in places like the financial services industry. They're transforming critical workflows as we speak. Let's take fraud detection. An agent can watch transactions as they happen, live. It can query historical data to spot weird patterns and flag anomalies instantly. This means fewer false positives and a really powerful autonomous first line of defense. Or look at customer support. We're moving way beyond simple chatbots here. An agent can actually solve a customer's problem by itself by accessing the core banking systems to check on a loan status or verify their identity details. This can handle something like 60% of all Tier 1 support questions without a human ever getting involved. It's not just answering questions, it's solving problems. Now, this one is a total game changer. For something like credit underwriting, an agent can pull a person's credit score, check their income data, and compare it all against internal policy rules to generate an instant loan decision and even explain why it made that decision. This can automate over 90% of the manual work, shrinking decision times from days down to just seconds. And finally, think about risk analysis. An agent can act like a tireless analyst who never sleeps, constantly monitoring portfolios and watching for any external market signals. This frees up your human risk teams to focus on the big picture, on strategic tasks, instead of getting bogged down in manual monitoring. So as we start to wrap this up, it's pretty clear that the future of AI isn't just about knowing things, it's about doing things. It's about building systems that can go all the way from raw data to deep insight to decisive action completely on their own. If there's just one thing you take away from all this, let it be this simple little equation. AI agents plus the right tools equals real, measurable business value. The agent brings the brain power, but it's the tools that let it take action. Now, for anyone out there who's thinking about how to actually implement these kinds of intelligent systems in your own company, the team at Segmetriq Analytics are experts in this space, and they've shared their contact information right here for you. And that leaves us with one final, kind of provocative thought. We've seen the power. We've seen the potential of an AI that can do, not just think. Your competitors are already out there building these systems, so the only question left